Welcome back, all my free thinkers, to another evening edition of the Grow Rich, Grow Happy Crypto Show. Have I got a show for you guys? I'm going to weigh in or throw my thoughts on the scale on what I believe. Now, I've seen this going on for a while now, the debate on whether or not our bull run and altcoin season has come to an abrupt end and it's over. We are headed into a bear cycle. I'm going to weigh in and say I don't believe that. I'm going to weigh even further and say I believe all of that's a thing of the past, meaning that the yo-yo up and down of Bitcoin with their 4-year halving cycle and taking with it profits up and down, I believe that's over. And I believe it's over because of Wall Street and this crypto-friendly president / legislation. Now, I plan to show you why, but not only that, I'm going to show you some other things. Now, you know what to do first, though. Smash that like button, give me a sub, hit that bell notification so that you don't miss any of these videos, and self-custody your crypto. Look down below. Get your cold storage wallet, Ideal and Tangem, on this particular platform and all platforms. I love Tangem. You should too. Got a 10% discount down below. It is the safest way to go. That 10% does go to support the channel. Now, back to business at hand. So if anything, if you've been with me for any amount of time, Grow Rich, Grow Happy, one thing you know is that I am a free thinker and I promote free thinking, meaning you should challenge original thought. Never be afraid to challenge people's thoughts or their ideas, and never be afraid to be wrong either. That's a part of growing. So with that, you know, when you do it, do your research and don't be afraid to be you. Now, in this particular episode, it's going to be somewhat controversial because for so many, over a decade now, people have been, following the pattern of Bitcoin. You jump over here, and I'm going to show you. You jump over here and you look at Bitcoin, you go out to the max. And you look at the max here and you see these ups and downs of Bitcoin. A lot of this, guys, if you go back to Bitcoin started, this is where a lot of it started. But you go back here, you see these ups and downs. That's the 4-year cycles of Bitcoin. And people have been making a lot of money off of that because, in theory, when you zoom out and you look at it, and this is what I do, I look at people. I always told you guys, examine people. Because people are predictive, unless there's an unless to that. I believe people, they do predictive things, and there's nothing new under the sun, and history always repeats itself. But why? Who is the main player there? It's people. I believe people are predictive, and they know because Bitcoin is scarce. It's only 21 million Bitcoin to ever be, but the halving schedule makes it even scarcer, and people know that. So based on that, which is sentiment, and I'm going to show you why that is sentiment, but based on that, people behave predictively, right? Well, until now. So up until now, people have been basing their gains and losses off Bitcoin's, at least in crypto, off Bitcoin's halving schedule. And, when it reaches its peak, because people are robots, people say, oh, guess what? At a certain point, people are going to take that money that they've earned in Bitcoin. They're going to siphon it over into altcoins, hence altcoin season. Hence, people are going to make money. This has been repeating itself every 4 years, right? So what could change that? I believe what can change that is people. People need something dramatic, something that is undeniable for them to break a habit. You see it with alcoholism, and you see it with a lot of different people who may have had a gambling addiction until they lose something major, or let's just say proven otherwise. Say they lose something like their house, their family, their health. You have to fall pretty far in order to say, you know what? I'm going to change that behavior. Some people never change. Let's just put that out there right now. But some people do, and they do because of a catastrophic event. Well, I believe Bitcoin can be looked at the same way in crypto can be looked at the same way. And I aim to prove that, because look at stocks. Let's take stocks and let's take investing. What I always say, people behave as if puppets, or they let news events and all of that control their emotions. Bad news event, guess what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell my crypto. If the economy's bad, I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell my crypto and my stocks, because this is something that people has been repeating throughout history. But only the smart and intelligent investors through time, you look at the Warren Buffetts, you look at anybody, all of these major players who always tell you when everyone is running, you're supposed to be a little bit greedy and go in and snatch up everything that they're letting go. And in reverse, when everyone is being greedy, you should be a little bit skeptical and pull back and maybe start selling. Now, no matter how much you repeat that and cram that in people's faces and down their throats, you're making a mistake. Don't follow news events. Yes, watch them, but you watch for opportunity. It doesn't matter. People are still going to do it unless, and I'm back to the unless thing, unless it's proven otherwise, which is why you're always going to have the yo-yo effect in stocks. But something stocks don't have that crypto has, and they've had for all of this time, is stocks they don't have a halving schedule. They don't have this one major stock. You know, you can look at the S&P and all of that, but they don't have this one like Bitcoin type stock that's pulling everything up and down. You're always going to be able to go in, make money in and out. But for the most case, when it comes to crypto, you have this dormant 4-year cycle where a lot of people just continue to load their bags up and waiting on that Bitcoin halving. So now we can wait and make all this money. I believe that's a thing of the past, and I'm going to show you, because I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you why what we are looking at. I believe that technical analysis and all of the TA and all of that cannot forecast what this is. You have to look at it from a human behavior type thing. At least this is my thesis, and I'm going to show you. So what I did here, I put this together. This is the old cycle effect, because I understand men, at least, and maybe not women, but men need things. They're visual people. We are visual people. So we need to see this. The old cycle effect, I believe, is retail driven. Retail. Sharp peaks and crashes. You've seen it for the last, over a decade now. You've seen it. Bitcoin just pulling on people's strings, but all of that is behavior based on what everyone else does and based on Bitcoin scarcity. But it's driven by other things too. Prices was driven by frenzied FOMO, fear of missing out. People didn't understand what crypto was, but they still was getting in it because they saw their neighbor or somebody had a Bentley now. They had a Ferrari or a Jaguar or something. So let me get into this crypto thing because I'm seeing people make money. But it was leading to a parabolic spike and a quick, brutal crash because people didn't understand. It was like the rubber band snapping back. It can only go so far before it snaps back. And then, smart people come in. They say, oh, here's what's going on here. It reached this certain point. And then people are going to pull their money out and then they're going to dump it into these altcoins. So price really was driven by sentiment more than anything else. More than anything, it was all speculation. People investing in it, a lot of them didn't even believe that crypto was going to be where it is today. I guarantee that. But they did see it as something valuable. Now, I ain't saying that the Bitcoin maxis didn't one day hope this was going to happen, but no one really had anything to hang their hat on until Donald Trump entered the picture. And then he changed a bunch of things because if it was left up to the last administration, things would have continued to be topsy-turvy. They're like, actually, a lot of people was afraid that crypto was going to go away. So the bull market was characterized by speculation and narrative. There was nothing factual. Therefore, you still had to puppet strings going on. Everyone who did know enough about crypto knew I got a 4-year window here to do something really major and change my family's future. Okay, but then you got this new cycle, this new things is happening. And this is something just for you guys is to know. My wife calls me a nerd. I woke up and I've been thinking this for a while and just examining what people were saying. And I woke up in the middle of the morning over the weekend and I just start writing notes to myself because it all came to me. I understood. I always base things off human behavior. It's human behavior because that's the only way you're going to get ahead. There's no special. I mean, you can look at TA and stuff, but I always zoom out because I can't base everything on that. Because if you could, TA could predict the news events that's going to happen. That is external. You can't predict that. So that's how I look at things and why I look at them like I look at them. Okay. Lengthening this new cycle, institutionally driven. Institutions are power in this now, guys. That's the biggest difference. So I believe that this cycle can be lengthened, if not broken completely, and just be done away with. And then you kind of have crypto, which is behaving now kind of like stocks, but they're their own entities now. I believe you're going to get more of that and less of that 4-year cycle deal. Prices could be driven by consistent regulated inflow. You're seeing it now, guys. You see the ETFs with XRP. You see the things that's going on with Zebic, the things that's going on with Quant. And now you're leaving this speculation narrative, and now it's more concrete. Now they're having these big board meetings on how we're going to integrate crypto completely, and they're already doing it. You see the treasuries, you see what's going on with Bitcoin. It's still the granddaddy, but things are changing. Okay. Prices could be driven by consistent regulated inflow, leading to a slower, more sustained climb. I believe this, and potentially a shallower, longer bear market, if any at all. I believe that crypto now is advancing, and you haven't seen anything yet, and no one has talked about this. You haven't seen anything yet when crypto, once it's already now a part of the global financial system, the banks and everything, and it's happening now right in front of us. But once all of this gets ingrained and everybody knows crypto, kind of like they know the internet now and everyone uses the internet, this 4-year cycle thing is going to be a thing of the past. No one is going to care. But I believe it's starting now. Price driven by allocation. That's what we are looking at now. And if you look and really just zoom out and look at it, why do some people say, oh, I believe this, the bull market is put on hold? You really can't put something on hold that only has a 4-year cycle, can you? Unless it's driven by external things that's going on, which is why I believe that a lot of that is going to be a thing of the past. Continue. The bull market is being driven by financial institutions now, and corporations making strategic long-term allocations to meet client demand, meaning what once was a speculative asset, and you had your Larry Finks and different people like that, Jamie Dimon and all of them saying Bitcoin is a scam. Even Donald Trump said it's a scam. Larry Fink said, my clients, I have no clients that is interested in digital assets. Now it's been an opening of the arms. It's been an exchanging of the guards. It's been not Walmart, but Wall Street opening their doors for crypto to come in, and they're chomping at the bit for these ETFs, for these crypto companies like Gemini and Circle and many more to come to enter into the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Why? Because they wouldn't be interested if this was just a 4-year cycle thing. Trust me, they don't have time for that. The stock markets and all of that, this is about money 24/7. If this was just an up and down thing for where you're going to have a bear market and it's not going to be really profitable, many of these major corporations and these institutions who really just want money, they wouldn't be interested in it. So I believe, and I stand on this, that we're not going to see the behavior. You're going to see now the shock and change, and you're not going to see the behavior of people saying, well, now I'm going to run to the hills and I got to wait 4 years. I can't believe that, and I won't believe that because I know human behavior. All right, guys, let me know down below, what do you think? To the next one, this your boy. Don't be afraid to think different. Do not be afraid to be wrong. To the next one, I'm out.
My heart